Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today is a special day. My dear husband has joined me and we are going to have a conversation on how to start a piggery project.
Yeah. Well, you're very welcome to our farm. It's a small farm down in Nakaseke district, a place called Chiruli. And it's a beautiful thing that I'm here with Florence, just to talk about pigs and, what one needs to start or how we started. I'm sure it's going to be a good thing for somebody out there to learn a few lessons from us here at our small farm. Yeah.
So Eric, how did we start?
Well, my name is Eric, Eric Kakande, husband to Florence Kakande. And how we started the farm is a very interesting story. For starters, we had a piece of land that we wanted to use productively. We didn't want to waste it. We had given it to some people to use it. But then we realized we needed to do something with the land, which God had given us. And so we had these desires in our hearts to start projects on a small piece of land, and yet, things that were within our means to do. So we thought of piggery, and I talked to a friend who is in the business, and he gave me a bit of advice. We started with a structure. Not very cheap structure, but for us, it was something that because we wanted something that would last.
Yes.
And then we wanted to expand with structures already available. I would not advise someone to start, with this if it looks so expensive for them. But yeah, we started with the structures, and for about 4 pigs, and after the structures had been built, we believed God for, some money, which He provided. And we started off with 3 mature pigs, 1 male and 2 females. That's how we began.
Well, thank you. And we started last year.
Yes, last year.
We started last year around May. And that's how our piggery project started.
Yeah.
So currently, Eric, how many do we have on the farm?
I think we had reached a maximum, 2 months back. We had over 20. But because of feeds, if you live in Uganda, you know that the cost of maize has actually been up. And so we needed to cut back on the number of pigs that we had. So we sold off about 13 of them, and we let them go. And so currently at the farm, we have 3 mothers and 3 young ones. So we have a total of 6. Our desire is that the mothers would give birth, so that then we can focus on selling piglets. We are really focusing in on increasing the number of mothers we have on the farm, because we want to sell to you out there. If you're in need of good piglets,
Yes.
we are available. We'll soon be available to sell to people that are interested in piglets.
Yes.
And of course, remember, the reason why we reduced the numbers is because of the feeds. We wanted to have numbers that we can manage, but also looking at finances while we continue to think of how to have the feeds available. Because if you're going to do this project, you need to make sure you have the feeds. Without the feeds, you're working at a loss. It's a good thing to hear pigs, make noise around you, but at the end of the day, pigs are not pets. We get into the business for money. And you need to look into factors that, can allow you reduce your expenditure while increasing your profit. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Eric. We have done it for over a year, so definitely we've had wins. What are those wins? What are the things that we've done the good things that we've experienced?
So the first thing that I believe was our number one win is that we got good breeds. I got this from a good friend, and of course when we got the breeds, we've also been able, we're at a place where from the little that we've gotten, we're at a place where the pigs kind of feed themselves, which reduced on the amount that we were putting in from other sources. That is already a win. We are not yet at a place of, large profits, get something, go and enjoy it out there. We are in, you would call it a sowing season of the project. Everything that we get, we put back in. Because, but it's a good thing that, we've got the right breeds and sold off a few that allowed us now to be able to have feeds. And that is a win. But also it's a win that over the time that we've kept them, we've not suffered disease.
Yes.
That's a good thing.
Yes. That's true. We have not experienced any major outbreak.
Yeah.
And we are grateful. And we attribute that to the cleanliness and the fact that we have safety in our way.
So biosafety is a big deal when it comes to piggery. When you look at our farm, our small farm, there is an enclosure around, eucalyptus enclosure. This was intentional because we wanted to keep people off the place where the pigs stay, because you can easily lose all your pigs if you don't consider biosafety. And we're also grateful for the gentleman that helps us here at the farm, because it's very intentional. When you have a good person at your farm, that is a win.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely, that's a win, and we're grateful for human resource.
Yes.
And in the past year, we've definitely made mistakes.
Yeah.
What are the mistakes?
I think the first one, I already talked about it. For anyone starting, if you're investing in a structure like this, it can be intimidating. For us, it took, getting into, some loans to have these structures built. Because as I said, we wanted something long-term. But sometimes, long-term can be hard, can give somebody a hard start. So I think what I would recommend is a structure that is less expensive than this. We have one in the back there that is made up of, eucalyptus poles and, of course, a concrete floor. It's cheaper. And for anyone starting, we wouldn't encourage you to put a lot of your, money in bricks and cement. I think if you can reduce that and focus in on a fairly cheap structure, eucalyptus poles, of course watching out for termites, because you also, even if it's made up of wood, you need something that's going to last. So you need to watch out for termites, so focus in on how you're building from the ground, stay away from the termites, and so if that is done, it will reduce costs. We spent more at the start because of the kind of structure that we built. So that's something that I would advise somebody to avoid, especially for somebody who wants to start small. I think the other thing that we didn't look into is the market. The market was another thing. If you're going to get into piggery business, you need to know your market well. Piggery business can get you money, but the question is how much money? Because as long as you have pigs, someone will come for them. But if you don't have the right buyer, sometimes they will give you less than you expect. So it's important to know the right market so that you can maximize profit.
Yes. And us being in the village in Nakaseke, we realized that sorry about the noise. We realized that if we stay with the pigs for so long, it's harder for us to transport them to town, and the people who come who want pork, their prices are really low. So also that was a mistake. The first piglets, we stayed with them for over 6 months, raising them thinking that we'll get actually more money.
Yeah.
But in the end, we realized would have been better to sell the piglets. That way we are not weighed down with with the feeds. And then also it's easy to transport the piglets, but also a piglet is cheaper and it's easy to get clients.
Yeah, but then the other mistake I think we made is we didn't look into, good sources of feeds.
Yes.
If you're going to start, you need to do one of two things. You either have a place where you can buy maize cheaply, so you need to watch the seasons. If it's the season of harvesting, spare some money and stock up. Stock up as much feed as you can. Otherwise, if you don't, then the cost of maize keeps going up, because we are competing with schools and we are competing with other farmers, and so I think that's one thing that we would advise someone out there to watch out for. It's a mistake that we made. We spent more on feeds because we had not planned to either plant maize or spare some money to buy. And I think someone has advised me that the best is to spare some money and buy.
So we realized that if you're in town or you have a small space where you can't grow maize, or your land is just not good for maize, because our piece of land that's in another place was just not good for maize. The water retention is bad. It just doesn't retain water. You can save up your money, and then when it's the season for harvesting maize, you buy that maize. During that season, even the maize brand is way cheaper. A bag that is usually at 100,000 is at 50,000. So during that time, you can stock up, so you can keep in your store, and you can buy what's enough for like 6 months. That is enough to take you until the next season. Yeah. So that is something we also learned along the way.
You're right.
Yeah. Any other mistake?
The other one is regular checks on the farm. We stay in the city, and those regular visits are critical. And
what do you mean by regular?
At least once every week, you come to the farm. And when you come to the farm, don't come to tour. Come and check. Come and look at your animals. Find out what's going on. Because if you don't, it's easy to leave the farm thinking everything is okay, only to be called back that one of your animals is not well. So we've learned, that it's not good to just leave all this to the person at the farm. You need to be involved if it's going to work, and if you're going to see, success in this kind of business. So be regular, visit as much as you can, and if need be, at our farm we set up a small place to stay, and our plan is to reside. Okay, have even ourselves, apart from the person working for us, we have space where we can come, and where we need, if we need to stay, so that you're involved in what's going on at the farm.
Conclusion remarks?
Well, anyone can start piggery. It's not very complicated, and Sometimes you get into places and you can be intimidated by what you see. You know, people are putting a lot of money, and it makes you feel like, I can't start.
Yeah.
But anyone can start. You can start with a few poles and makoko, you know, those wooden, you know, offcuts.
So locally
Yes.
available materials.
Locally available materials. Anyone can start. And start within your means. Right? If you can avoid getting into loans, please do. Start small, then expand, because you learn from the mistakes.
Yes.
You know, you learn from the mistakes. You know, our desire would be that this would be a big farm, but we intentionally slowed down. You know, like I told you, we had at some point many pigs, and we let them go because we realized, you know what, now we're working at a loss because of the challenge of feeds.
Yes.
And we've learned better. We have fewer numbers now, and we have feeds, and you know, when they do give birth, we already have a plan, and we want to grow small. But of course, we want to focus in on breeding, because for us, breeding is easier than you know, raising these pigs for pork. There are people that would want to do that, and we don't want to stand in your way, but understand why you've started, and start small if you can, you know,
Within your means.
Within your means, yeah. And I am a Christian, so even piggery business requires that you commit it to the Lord.
Yeah.
You know, you pray,
Yes.
because you know, sometimes diseases break out, and there are many things that are not within our control. So pray for your project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Eric.
You're welcome, Florence.
I hope you have enjoyed this conversation. I would like to know what you think. Please share your thoughts in the comment section. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. See you in the next video. Thank you for watching.